Okay, now I'm recording. Welcome to today's class. This is the first class of this series. I do not know how long it's actually going to be, but this is asking you to step up and step out. You are going to be with this group. No more people can come into this at this time. It can only be when I start the second round. And these will be continued. So this group page will be where you will have more interaction. You may be paying $33 a class, but we will have more interaction with me, and it'll just be you the core, okay? I need you to do homework. You need to make sure you put it into what's called the topics. You can find them. My computer says on the right side, but look for the word topics. Sometimes it will be the topics. I think we may just have a lot of mixture of homework and comments and witnessing. And the other side, I forgot what it's called now. It's in the group. So, oh, don't tell me they changed it again on me. But there is so when you want to post something, you have freedom to post without me having to read it. I will read it if I'm supposed to, but post topics. And the other one, they must have took it out. I don't see it. Okay. And just be aware. Give it 5 minutes and you'll have to learn something new. This is something, but just be aware there's other places, not just that little column where you're going to find things, and pay attention to where it says, like, it'll say your name, and then underneath it, it'll tell you that it's like a topic area. You know that you need to go off to the section. There might be videos that you have to watch. So you'll have to go to the media area, and in the media areas where you're going to find all the videos and any photos that you think you've may have missed. Sometimes it's important to understand this is where some of the goodies are going to be. Okay, because when I post up, oh, she's here. That's who we were missing. Hold on. All right, so just give me a second. I'm going to go after, I thought she was not going to be here, but now I'm going to go after this other person and see if they'll come into class too. Just be aware that I don't want to start any messenger because a lot of the good stuff gets lost in there. I need all of us to interact at one hub, and that is the group, Medicine Woman Soultion Academy group. Down the road, when we create new academy groups, okay. So down the road, when I create more groups, you're going to keep your core. So there'll be many of these on my page. And this is also heads up if Kelly decides to do the rest, but I don't think she'll need to, but I mean, if she might, I don't know. Okay, leave it at that. I'll get back to my screen. Okay, so I need all of us to be able to understand that if you like everybody in the room, great. If you don't like anybody in the room, that's fine. I need you to now step into getting out of your ego, because your ego is going to mess you up. This is why you're here. This is what disconnects you from your soul. This is what disconnects you from listening all the time. This is where you get to really get to discover. Some people that were meant to be here, they couldn't let go of ego. They couldn't wake up. They couldn't see it. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're going to find this a lot. In 2021, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to let go of flippant speaking, maneuvers, controlling people, fear, living codependently, living as a narcissistic. We're going to talk about all these things because they will hold you back. Now, all of you have a very specific journey. I cannot tell you what they are. I just know that it is meant for you to discover your purpose. And the only way to really do that is you have to resolve to evolve. And if you have issues, when in doubt, heal it out. You are meant to be empowered to heal yourself. When you can't heal yourself, do not create an addiction where you have to feed off others. That's not what we're doing. You are meant to be able to fly solo as well as has a support of angels, guides, human people backing you. But we're not going to war. We're waking up and creating new light paths for people to wake up. Your RAS will start to expand in the light. Because right now, everybody's RAS is just all over the place. Nobody's being responsible for from tip to tip. This is why I think it's just so funny how we have to social distance. This is our aura, people. In this aura is only supposed to be you, your higher self. That's it. And even when I mingle with other people, we still have our boundaries and our space and our stuff. It's not about, I got to take and pull. You've known energy vampires. You've known all these things. It's time to put an end to them. Does this make sense? Okay. Because it is important not to live there anymore. It gets tiring. It gets draining. You get lost. And it's just no fun. And that means you have to wake up. Now, if you get on the hot seat, I want to explain about the hot seat. If I'm talking to you in spirit mindset and you receive me in an ego mindset and you go, oh my God, what a bitch. Oh my God, pain. You are in the hot seat. Your soul chose to be in the hot seat. Now, I don't go in there with a hot seat and tear your ass down and do any of that. No, I am sitting there telling you where you're losing power. If you feel it's a hot seat, go heal that shit out. Okay? Go heal that crap out. That is why you're here. You are no longer over-identification with ego. You're no longer the ego mindset. You're no longer going to be your false self. Being that said, you're going to be learning skill building. You're not going to say, oh, I failed, because that's ego mindset. You didn't fail. You needed to see a piece of wisdom, and you need to change that language. If you go in and go, oh my God, I got to whine, I got to bitch, and then you are already in the wrong group. If you do it, and you're standing back in your spiritual mind and said, how in the fuck do I stop it? Okay, you've used healing tool after healing tool. You're still looking that piece of wisdom, and then it'll just click. You'll get that. I have watched some of my students that were in the other pilot class. They're like, they're getting it. They're getting it. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden spirit, because spirit's going to be working with you. Your higher self is going to be working with you. Your higher self is your best friend. It is you. And the one person that you have to trust is higher self. Higher self wants to trust you, but you're a big fat liar. Okay. So if you want other people to trust you, you got to freaking do this. Now, being that said, there are still lessons you from past lives have to do what? Resolve to evolve. Get that power back. Get your energy back. Get it back. Okay. Oh, Michelle says, there's a quote. If you're too big for criticism, you're too small for praise. Ooh. Wow, that's huge. So first thing we're going to do is I think we're all here that are supposed to be here, and those that cannot be here, that is fine. You get to rewatch it again. Be respectful. That is not to be shared anywhere. Now, we're going to first start with Wayne Cook, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times, whether you understand that you're made of elements, and that, just to make it clear, fire, water. So you have, it goes, well, I'll just do the whole wheel. You have wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. In astrology, it's just your 4 elements, but this is the makeup of the body. This is the makeup, and it has personalities. Okay? When wood is too much energy, now everything is about support and control. Support energy is that it's not too much and it's not less. Okay? No depriving, no over mothering, but it's just enough. That means you give what you need to, but you let them learn. And that includes yourself, okay? I'll explain more later. In the control factor, the starfish aspect of us is that it's meant to discipline. It helps keep checks and balance. This is where we don't do that to ourselves. We don't checks and balance. We run like a heat-seeking missile. We go to the end of our timeline. We've never been taught. Okay. You started off as a narcissistic little soul. That's it. You have no idea at this point. You have everything else running, but you're learning how to communicate without having any communication skills into a physical form, but the main 2 is mental and emotional. You are meant to work with those so you can understand what you're creating and uncreating. You need to understand what love isn't. But this is now a whole new era about what is love and resolving out what it isn't. You're learning to level up. Okay? We'll talk more about all these other things in a moment. So the first thing you're going to do is we got to get our brain to be unscrambled. Even if our brain ain't scrambled, our bodies are scrambled. This will take, if I'm a teacher, and let's say my scrambling has happened and I don't know it, I could wipe all you out. That makes me an irresponsible human. Why? Just answer that. Just think about it. Why does that make me an irresponsible human? And if somebody wants to raise their hand or however you want to do it, I will be glad to, because there is a button.
I'll speak. All right.
Yes, go ahead.
That's a really good example with my son. He doesn't understand. He's now learning to develop that his energy is filtering out on the outside of him. He's affecting everybody else, and he's also negatively affecting himself. So when Joshua, like one of the girls could have set him off, me or Daniel could have yelled at him and he could have found that unfair, okay, whatever situation it is. He will go straight to anger, frustration, and as soon as he gets there, he'll either flick something away from him or he will act in a way that he will either hurt himself, and it happens every time. He'll hurt himself, like whether he steps on something as he's walking off in the shits or and Laura knows this well, or he will just, grunt and moan and it's unfair and whatnot. And then the outside around him just turns to shit.
Yes.
And we've been trying to develop, his acknowledging. He is now acknowledging. And last night I was talking to Brenda about it, and he's now tapping. He's now going to tapping it as soon as it happens. Laura's there today and she's working on that with him if it happens. Because he's grounded for a month at the moment and he's not allowed to go to his friend's house, Fletcher's, because of his behaviour. Because he became the heat-seeking missile, not wanting to do what Mum said. And I was very shocked that he held his stance that strong, to be honest. I was not happy. Anyway, yeah, he's now, if he learns to heal it out every time a situation happens, then he's allowed to not be grounded and he's allowed to go to his friend Fletcher's house. If he doesn't, then he doesn't go. That's the new rules.
Good. Thank you. We're going to talk about how he held his stance in just a moment. And we've had the word disrespectful. Yes. Now, Kelly, what was the question I asked you guys to answer? Just so that I want to make sure everybody hears what the question was. Hopefully she got it.
The question is, what happens when you're not careful with your energy?
Good, good. And so just so you understand, now, if I'm an irresponsible human, you are becoming a spiritual human. Human means that you have the choice to choose to be an over-identification with matter, which is what we refer to as the false self and the ego, or you can choose to be your higher self, and that is with understanding. It is when you choose your higher self, you're going to get into the wisdom and a greater understanding. Sometimes to get there, you need to go into ego to be able to find it. So again, it's not evil, it's not wrong. It is just these bad habits, these conditionings that we've carried through lifetimes and genetics and through this collective with dogma. Okay? We can learn from our kids. And we have to learn them in a certain way. Oh, let's see. Yes, we lose power and we absorb. Yes, and we take. Healthy boundaries is one of the things you're going to start building. The idea of growing into who you are. And just to answer this before I go into the other part is to hold their stance. You're going to find every baby, every child will have to be in the immature state. They have to learn how to develop a language with the most powerful part of who they are, which is that being. And when they're a baby, they don't know what hunger is or what their needs are, but they are meant to seek them out. And if they can't get them, then how to soothe them. They don't know how to. So this story is from Theta. I can't remember her name all of a sudden, but it's do with Theta healing. And the baby is so beautiful, so loving. The light just pours from them. Everybody loves, and then they feel love, and they want to be around this baby. But when the baby got angry, okay, out goes this projection. So the story is that they love this. And then what would you do? Would you call this baby good or evil? Okay. Now the baby is hungry. It doesn't know how to get what it wants. It just knows that it has a desire to fix the sensation. What's this feeling? And it can become a heat-seeking missile. Since it don't have a language, smiling don't give it food. Farting doesn't give it food. Laughing or whatever it is doesn't give it. So it goes into crying. How do I get your attention? How do I get you to change your behavior because I need my needs met? How do you create and communicate with something that doesn't have language? So you develop a language together. Those that are awake and aware are very finely tuned to when the child gives a body gesture. Oh, they're taking a crap. You know, oh, I know what they're doing. Some are not aware and mindful. I don't know why they fucking do that. They always do that. And the child's over there maybe begging for a hug. You know, we don't know. You are responsible. And it means that you just have to be more conscious of what you're doing. But if you're an ego, it's just going to be anal and it's going to be bad. Okay. So hold his stance. He's learning to step into his power. But sometimes the energies you can support, but sometimes they need to be in check, or they have to refer back to the master or refer to a discipline. Because if the baby's upset and screaming and all those lovely people in there adoring, and if the energy of how they're disconnected were to shoot out, it would be shards and it would kill everybody in the room. Is the baby evil? No, it's energy. Energy can love, support, and expand, or it can destroy. You all have been in relationships to some degree where it's the best, and then the intolerance is, oh my God, I just can't. Enough's enough. I'm done. To be able to feel love and hate is amazing. But you have to understand you don't have to live in hate. Okay? We came here, I don't care what kind of star seed or any of what you're doing, you came here to explore what emotions were. You came here to hold frequencies. Not get stuck in the ego that repetitively lives in fear and you're bowing down to fear. That's really where you don't need to be anymore. That era is not being supported. This is why a lot of people are going to be sweeping out of your life. You don't have to push them out right away. I love someone very dearly, but I can't have them in my space vibrationally. I am not cutting myself up just so that they can be happy. You will start to hold yourself at a very high energy level. People are going to go, no, what are you doing? You're changing. Oh, good. I'm glad you noticed. No, they're changing. You're stubborn. Get back to how I know you. And if you're not that, something's wrong with you. This is where all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I must be doing something right. But you've got to get past, I didn't mean to hurt anybody, because there's a fight, flight, freeze, fawn. We have to explore these. We have to explore codependence and narcissism. They keep you from you. Okay? Now, that child is holding its stance because it has a particular outcome. It has a desire factor. Desire is good because it's also part of how you urge to wake you up. There has to be a certain word that helps you motivate you, all this. Okay? If you're going to use an ego, you're probably going to use it inappropriately. But if you allow yourself to maneuver yourself into understanding your higher self, it'll become an urge, and it will become a GPS, and it will become one with spirit. And thank you, spirit. Thank you, universe. If it's not out there, it's everywhere. It is you. Okay. So when these little children grow up and do not mature their mental, their emotion, they will go into spiritual debt, and their physical life and their physical body will pay the price. And you will see 50, 60, 80, 90-year-olds, doesn't matter what age, they're still 2-year-olds. They will repeat what they've learned. This becomes their identity, not the true, their false identity, and how to survive. You're moving beyond just existing and surviving. This is serious shit. This means if you're on the hot seat, it's a sign. Let it be your birdie. A birdie. A birdie is a sign. Oh, I put it in my filing cabinet. A birdie. A messenger from God. A birdie. Oh my God, I have taken and I have chosen a birdie, whatever you choose to do, that's pointing to your issue. Beck has all these birds outside her work, and she's like showing me a video. All I can hear is, I'm like, God, I know those sounds of those birds. And I said, you could train yourself to not hear them, but as soon as you pull shit on yourself, go into ego, and you're losing who you are, or it's used as a sign because you are going to become spiritual investigators. And all of a sudden, she'll get so tuned into a bird sound. And each bird has a unique sound, which she can then label to how they are connected to, I'm being an asshole. Oh, listen, I hear a little chirp chirp or something, or a squawker. They're mate. Okay, you can hear like the Joeys, my Joey, which is him. Okay, see that little bird back there? Those cute little rainbow lorikeets. They are fearless. Most of them are just complete fearless. They're not domesticated, and they're little pricks. They are domineering. They are controlling. They are alpha. They can be this big and stand up to a bird, and they're like, that's this big. And they're like, I'm going to kill you. And you're like, oh my God. They are the ultimate ego. So when I hear a rainbow lyricate, when I'm out walking, I'm like, shit, I'm an ego. So you can train yourself to have signs to receive your message. This is why I have birds everywhere that can guide me to waking up, holding my power, or getting my power back to move in the direction I'm looking for. Okay. So again, kids will do anything to get that particular outcome. They do not have what so-called adults' logical abilities. And they will become heat-seeking missiles. They will cause all kinds of troubles. They like, okay, that didn't work. And it's amazing how beautiful to watch the brain, how fucking brilliant these kids are. My daughter, at about maybe 6 months old, she knew about energy. As a baby, colors affected her. So if I put the wrong colors with the wrong colors, she would have a spastic. And it took me so long. What the fuck? And somehow the little girl would somehow just be out of her clothes and into a different color if I was not paying attention. Or they mismatch. Oh my God. And when I finally realized they have to match, top and bottom has to match. And as long as it's a certain color, she was happy. Colors will affect you. It took me a long time to realize that Spirit was trying to tell me, go learn about colors. So my daughter brought that piece of information in for me. Okay. So there's a lot of good stuff we're going to learn along the way, but this is about your higher self. So what we're going to do is we're going to balance. Wayne Cook. Don't just think that, I'm in my higher self. You will get there. You will become the guru, that part of your competent self that's conscious competence is that guru that can do it, but can't remember how they do it because it's such an autopilot. But don't just skip these steps. Oh, I'm that good. No, I don't want you to be cocky, because then you're going to do what? You're going to create some bitch slabs. And there are steps from a whisper to the flying bitch slab. I don't want you to live in the flying bitch slab. Forget that. You've been doing that for freaking forever. It's time to become that spiritual investigator. Time to step into who you are. So before we get any further, we're going to do Wayne Cook posture. Now you can do it standing up, you can do it sitting down, you can do it with your leg up, or you can do it. So practice play. Sometimes I have to do Wayne Cook in bed, but I'm too tired to pull my leg up or this, that. So you can do it, you can modify it in any way you want. But understand, breath is important. The way you hold your spine sometimes is very important. You want the spinal fluid to go up into your brain. Okay, because your body image will actually is telling you about a program that you may not know you're doing here. Because your brain will light up and tell your body where to go. But your body, which is your subconscious mind, has listened to you as you took in life, but when you memorized your shits, your hells, I'm going to let that happen again. When you memorize the negatives, your body says, okay, now I have to maintain this, because if you were just to think, why do you forget half the shit you do? Because they're not meant to be maintained. Okay. And the vacuum cleaner, which is the glial cells, will come along and clean those up. But when you take your 41 thoughts per minute and decide you're going to think those 41 thoughts every day, 24 hours, you do the math. I'm not even going to tell you. Figure out the math. 41 thoughts per minute. Because you're going to be controlled by 90% of that from the day before that creates your day. Your subconscious mind now says, that's you. So when you're like this, am I happy? No. My body's going to go into a mode to show you more about where you're at. So this is why you have your just a slight twinge with your arms, your shoulders back and down, just enough to let the fluid flow. You have your breath, because that is how you digest. This is actually how you start to lose weight too. Breath. And so this is why they say cardio. It's about how you breathe, because you want to shrink and those fat cells. You want to burn off and transform all that chemistry that doesn't need to be there. Okay. Your breath is what you're supposed to do when you take in life. How many times do I do not want to take in life, or I've taken in life, but I am now coughing at it because I have created an intolerance level that rejects. Okay. So Wayne Cook is very important. So however you choose to do it, we usually know the hand positions by now. If you have watched me enough, it's arms out. You're going to cross. You're going to turn, grab, and pull in. Now, if that gets too confusing, boom, boom, grab. Now, when you start off, it doesn't really matter, but it does to some degree. So I always try to be consistent. So if I'm crossing this one, then I'm going to take the same leg, and cross it at my ankles. But if that's what I'm doing, I'm going to pull this up, okay? You can do this, okay, and cross your ankles, or you can do this. Now, I feel like I need to do this one today, and that is wherever my foot is, I'm going to slap it on my ankle, pull it closer. This one goes on the sole of my foot, okay, right there at that K1. That's the entrance of life. This is the well springs. Now, as I'm lifting up, straightening, and pulling slightly gently my foot to me. I don't have to rock, just slightly. I need to open up the nadis. I need to open up the channels. I need to open up the meridians. Okay, now there are yoga poses. I haven't quite decided if I want to do it, but they were thinking that I need to help you use yoga poses when I start teaching the Meridian classes. I'm like, oh, good Lord. I don't even know if I've got the camera right, but I'm sure they'll push me into it, talk me into it. See, now after you've breathed, you don't talk, you just breathe. After you breathe, you will start noticing, usually I'll breathe in and I breathe out. That's considered one. As I breathe in, I straighten up my spine. And usually after 10 of those breaths, my muscles will just relax because it's waiting for action. But when you actually say you go through so many seconds, what will happen is your body will say, oh, you mean relax? Oh, I can do that. And then all of a sudden you will amaze yourself at how much you just stretched. See, I couldn't put my leg up there. Now all of a sudden my leg wants to go further. And now my leg wants to be able to release those restrictions of life. So you're breathing in and out. Quiet the mind. Any noises on the outside just allows you to relax further. That's what you tell yourself. You're going to the greater understanding. Now, I like to open up my heart here. And I'm connecting with my heart and my mind. You should be able to feel that. And this is where you can really connect with that body. Because if you're doing this haphazardly, you're going to do so much restrictions. You're going to cause yourself to have harm. What do I mean? You're going to be cranky pants maybe later. You'll disconnect. We're connecting to the higher self. So use intention. Hello, higher self. Learning to, just like a pendulum, you're going to learn to communicate with your higher self. You're going to greet it, connect with it, feel your crown chakra. Your crown chakra is right here. Feel it open up like a little sensation that maybe your hair's got the little tickles on it. You can go as long as you want. You put it down. Now, again, the other side. Now, most time you don't have to, but I do both sides because I am so built weird. I'm built the way I'm supposed to be. Again, foot up, going to whatever foot's there, I slap it on my ankle, take this one, slap it on the bottom, and I'm just going to gently hold and then feel how uncomfortable it is. Don't judge it, just observe, measure. You're connecting in with your intention to communicate with your higher self. And feel the energy move. You're yawning, you're moving, you feel it. Intentional breath in. Don't be short with yourself. You may want to count to 8. And then 8 out. It's not necessary, but it helps in the beginning to get a good, healthy practice. And you want to make sure you do at least 10 of these. Because then the body will say, oh, you mean I can release that restriction? Yes. Open up the crown. You can feel it getting stronger. Now bring it to your heart. So you're going to become the healer. Okay. You will feel that relaxation. You're going to tune into how your body says, ah. We're so used to rushing in life, but do not take your higher self as a joke. You want to become better than me or as good as me as far as communicating with your higher self and learning light language. This is a very good start right here, building the relationship. Amazing. Now, you put your legs down. If you're done. This part is important too. So I don't put my hands together. Be mindful. I don't tighten them. I relax them. But I allow each of the meridians to communicate. Every tip is a meridian. The pinky has heart and small intestine. This is the triple warmer. This is the pericardium. This is your large intestine. This is your lung. And when I connect the left side to my right, I allow space. And then I connect it to now some people will put it right between their eyebrows. Some people put it up, but don't put it up here. We're not doing that chakra. We're doing the third eye. And we're learning to communicate through the pineal. This helps bridge both the left side and the right side. And if you feel like you're stuck with your air in your chest, because I've been talking, then bring it to your belly. Make sure your belly moves. You can see my belly. So now energy shifts are when you start really communicating with your higher self. They will be the idiometer of how you know. You don't want to force them. You just want to feel them. And that will retrain your nervous system to create a connection that allows for light language to start to come in. Now, twitches and twangs, again, just allow things to happen. And when you're done, put your hands down. You do not want to restrict the Kundalini. You do not want to restrict the energies that go up. You do not want to do that. You want to stop that to being an ego. Like, oh, I can't, I twitched. Oh, I must look stupid. Oh, oh my God, I'm considered copying. That's wrong. These are all fear-based things. To be yourself is to understand it may not look like anybody else. Don't restrict yourself because you were told as a kid, don't copy. That's wrong. No, these are old programs. A lot of you have been using Spirit's language. Good on you, because it will train you to wake up further. It'll help you hold your frequency. And what do I mean by that is that a lot of you will walk around and go, oh, let's see, my brain says, let somebody have an example. You know, Beck's got to talk to her kids. Beck has to step in and demonstrate. Okay, when you begin to demonstrate it, it becomes more of a natural competence thing. That means that you're not going to revert back to the ego. You're going to allow it to flow through. And if you are like, I've seen it work, now I'm going to try it. Even if you're stumbling, do it. But don't be bad on yourself or think, oh my God, they're going to think I'm copying Brenda. You need to heal that out because that's our terrain to keep us from evolving. It's not evil. It's part of that involution process we chose to shut down with. We don't need to have that old program anymore. Do you understand? You're meant to come over to a new language. That means you are coming from one side to the next. Now, we don't have to do in extremes. You can start to do it in balance. Okay? That means it's going to move. And that's like a bridge. The bridge don't fall. It has these sutures. It has the, and same for your brain. As you breathe, your skull opens and closes. It just has these suture points. Okay? That's what this is about. Karma is cause and effect. It don't have to go boom, boom, boom. It can be a whisper. You can feel the wave. Okay. Now, the energies will start to come into balance. You will start to feel this tingling sensation. Don't be surprised if you don't feel it yet. But what happens is that each one of you crowns are open. Okay? You're going to be training the brain to light up. That means you got to help memorize. Memorization is maintaining. This is why intention and focus. Intention is about, this is, I give permission. This is where I'm going to put my power. This is what I want to develop. So if you want to sit there and bitch about somebody, you're developing what? You're training your brain to do what? To stay in hell. We were taught that in the Pisces era that you sinned. And as you sinned, what is this, old lady time? As you sinned, you go to hell. Sin is just missing the mark. You're in love. But you're off kilter to explore. And then you come back. How are you going to learn if you don't use the parameters of life? Okay? So if you have old dogma, write that shit down and heal it out. Why do we write shit down? because ego likes to fake us out. And, well, that didn't happen. Oh, I'll never forget that. You know how many times I've told myself I put flour in a jar or crushed up some almonds and turned it into powder. And then I have all these jars. Where'd the freaking labels go? I don't know if that's rice. I haven't memorized what it looks like. I'm like, God damn it, I told myself I'd remember. Great lesson. I've got all these jars. I'm just going to make some type of bread and see if it turns out. But write it down. This is you saying, I intentionally am aiming and focusing on resolving to evolve. You are also deciding that I am done dealing with it. That's like not putting the labels on the thing. Oh, I can do that. And then when it comes up, you have forgotten all about how to really do anything with it. And then you're training yourself out of the 41 thoughts per minute, 24 hours. Anybody come up with a number on that? Oops, April's lost. Okay, get back in. I used to know it. 2000, about 2,500. No, I forgot. Anyways, runs 50 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And if you were to calculate that over time and you train yourself to hate and you say you're love, you're lying to yourself. You don't want to. You don't want that relationship to your higher self to be nasty because your higher self can't trust you. Okay. Feeling balanced. Notice that your sensory system is like, wait, what? What? Yes. You will have your brain waves when you start to operate with your higher self. Your brain waves is that you can be in beta, but you can be in theta. And as you begin to do this rhythm and able to go in and out, you don't have to train the conscious part of you to live outside yourself. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, fear, fear, fear. No, you can come inside, let the survival mechanics to which you came in with do the alert process for you. Have you ever felt like, oh, I better not step off the curb? And as soon as you decide not to, a bus came by, saved your ass. You feel like you're off balance. Nope. And you're like, oh my God. No, you can internal gyro system will help you because it's built in. You need to tap into these things that are already so. Okay. Where did spirit go? Okay. If you got questions, write them down. We will talk about them. Don't just think, oh, that's a, you know, you can watch this and take notes. You can do whatever you need to do, but I need you to begin to train. If you got a question, write it down. Don't just think you're going to memorize it. This is how we get into the nitty gritty, little tiny corners, the little details that can either help you evolve you out of ego or help you bring in greater understanding and help that self-esteem that says, I don't have enough information. Well, there is no question that's stupid. It is an opportunity to see a different perspective. And that's where you want to go. So connecting with your higher self. You want to make sure you have a date with it every night. You know, like you're like, oh, I want to go on a date tonight. You need to make that much excitement and commitment to your higher self. That is the real you. That is your soul consciousness. That's you. And then you are that physical form. You have unlimited and eternal. That's your higher self. It is what beautifully taps into the unknown, that potential, but it also can tap into that part of your brain. What we refer to is, I think, the reptilian brain. But what it is that holds that one holds everything you've ever done, everything that has to do with all humanity, all of it. The pineal, once that cracks open, this is when you allow yourself to become conscious. Consciousness. You are thought. You are consciousness. You don't have to be connected to the body when you are doing what you need to do. We are so afraid that we're going to die if we really get into that zone. But if you can learn how to balance to be in certain zones, and you're able to accomplish, to allow yourself to go where, do remote healing and or remote viewing or any of this, you are learning how to communicate with the higher self. Without the higher self, then you want to channel, then you're going to have to tap into a great spirit that has to operate through your brain, that will operate through your body. And a true channeler will be one that the person that's operating the suit don't beam their ass in, and another form will beam their butt in. But you just hope that they go out and you can come back. You don't want two consciousnesses living there. You'll feel crazy. So to make sure you don't do that, you learn to maintain you learn to maintain a relationship with the higher self, and you learn how to operate in certain fields of intuition so that you can stand as your spiritual self, as your human self, and you can see your projection of self. You are learning how to see through your higher self. All of your intentions, your desires, and your secrets are, your higher self knows it. And your higher self can help you tap into the greater intelligence, an innate wisdom, the superconscious. It is, but you are still maintaining your ability. Because your nervous system has to hold a great amount of knowledge or a great amount of frequency, it'll start to come in and start to flow. Okay. And I don't have to retain a ton of knowledge. I don't have to. Now, when I get into the zone, because so much is coming through, I don't always remember. But some things I just don't need to remember. But I have a data bank room. We'll talk about rooms later. When you have intuition, flashes of intuition, that's your higher self. When you feel inspired, that's your higher self. When you feel, when you get to know that communication, you'll flourish, you'll thrive, you'll just be, and it'll be this most beautiful feeling. When the energy of you, it begins and ends with that connection to your higher self. When people are in their egos, there is no connection. They're saying, fuck you, higher self. I've got this. The problem with that is they're asking for trouble to come. And then they'll fight because they think it's war. They think that's what it is. Everything is evil. Nothing is understood. Everything has to be a bloodbath. You have to get into that bitchy ass self saying, I'm going to kill you type of attitude. That doesn't resolve anything. The story, hey God, and all the angels are hanging around. Hey God, where should we hide the truth? On the topmost of the highest mountain, some angel said. God says, no. They'll find it and they won't understand it. The deepest part of the sea. No. They'll find it. They won't understand it. Inside themselves. They'll never look there until they're ready. A lot of times people, I didn't understand that until I would like, oh, so I'd give it to them. There's the answer. They couldn't appreciate it. They had no parameters. They had nothing. And then when I would say, okay, how do I went over here and I started to communicate this. And as soon as I started to connect the dots to this, they got it. Now, some people that are choosing to refuse to connect or stay connected all the time, people say, you don't, where's life? Where's the enjoyment of life? You're supposed to have chaos. You shouldn't be happy 24/7. What? And so I explored that. And if you get rid of all the negativity, then there ain't nothing left. Wait a minute, what? And so it is now you need greater understanding. That when you heal your shit, you evolve. When you're crying and you're in pain and you have this love and you think that, oh my God, if I get rid of that, then I'm nothing. Then that's just ego talk. The higher consciousness is an important mental state. You have a mental body. It's very important that we mature that to which is the connection through the higher self, through a higher consciousness. And we use the ego aspect as a way to gather and to compare and to grow. Okay. Some people say, oh, that's the higher consciousness, is that spiritual guru, the sages, the monks. For those people, they have learned to have this intrinsic nature. And it is understanding and the growth and the discipline from their primal instinct and to get into a space that incorporates their true identity that operates through these filters without sitting there taking in the twangs and going over here and destroying things. Once you hit that greater understanding, you're moving from being inside your house in your comfort zones and wanting to bark at people. I've got the answers. My opinion's more better than yours. All of this. You've actually moved out from their comfort zone and you started to gather. This is why I use the word interesting, because I've never been here. And I'm not comparing it to mine in such a negative way, saying, oh, that's wrong. No. What am I supposed to learn from all these interesting avenues? Oh, I never knew that. Oh my gosh, you've taken in greater information. We have been controlled by dogma. Oh my God, what was the nasty thing they'd say about women? Oh, you just keep changing your mind. Again, stop changing my reality, bitch. I mean, this is what's happening, and it's that control factor. But when you bring in that information, you get to have greater understanding. You can be better and greater than your negative ego. You can be better and greater than your environment. And when you do that, your nervous system comes back to homeostasis. Your life comes back to homeostasis. Okay. So we're going to take and explore step by step about the higher self. So that's enough information about the higher self right now. Oh, thank you, Gemma. Yes. You're feeling emotional right now. Is that good or bad, Amanda? That was a while ago. But is that good or bad? Just want to make sure. Good. Okay. And as we are hardwired for joy, that's what we're returning to. We're returning to our natural, primal energies. Okay. When our gray matter creates a negative bias, it's a condition, but it doesn't have to be written in the stone. When you begin to heal and evolve using the tools of the innate body to do the healing, the negative bias gets to be rewired and more joy flow comes in and starts to repair. So when you believe something, it becomes a belief system. Believe something, BS, belief system. You can either have a good, healthy belief system or you can have bullshit. You got to decide who's going to take the pen and write the answers. Who's going to be okay with going, oh my God, I'm wrong. It's not about wrong. It is, I need to change this information. I need to upgrade this information. Your piece is meant to be who you are. When it's off center, it's meant to be viewed as, ooh, new information, something I need to evolve from, something I don't know. Okay. So I asked you simply, what is judgment? I kind of give some of you some heads up. What is judgment? When you're an ego, what is judgment? Some of you got to explore the last few days. Now, every bi-weekly, no, that's wrong. Whatever, twice a month, we're having a class. You have all that time to witness and talk and communicate. And if you choose not to communicate in class, notice that you are the one that's setting it up to say, well, gosh, I'm never included. And da, 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 da. You got to get past the self-deception. Okay. The self-sabotage. If you haven't read it, I thought I had it here. I picked it up, but I put it down in the other room. That's because I'm supposed to present it later. So I will give you a book that you can begin to look and listen to. And then I will put a little small video and everything else. It's very important that you start getting this particular concept, because otherwise, if you can't, the part of you has to begin to wake up. Okay, we're going to do some certain exercises as well. I may not give them in class, but I will give them in the room. So you have to pay attention to that room. Okay. Judgment. When you're an ego, you're creating a limitation, saying the knowledge that I have does not compare to the knowledge you have, but I always have to be right, even if I'm wrong. And as I'm listening to you, my guard's up, looking for flaws, looking to you as the enemy, and doing what? You're trying to protect your heart. You're trying to protect the heart and not let it expand. You're trying to say, you're trying to steal it. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to do this. Even though I had someone in my space that loves me, they went into very much a judgmental space because they were in jealousy, fear, controlling, hoarding. I'm tired of being hoarded. Just saying, I need to heal that shit finally. Anyway, tired of being the best kept secret. I don't need to get out of their damn pocket. That's what I need to do. So these are your shits. Okay, these are the things. And a lot of times we will stay ignorant because we want to protect the heart. We don't want to go there. We don't want to get into the messiness. We don't want to. And we will find the limitations. But when we have to protect our heart, what are we doing? We're saying what? I was hurt. You met this particular moment. It was not what you expected. It was shocking. It was confronting. You had no skill. You have no tools to soothe. What does that mean? If you're disconnected from your higher self, you're going to greet it with what? You're going to be disempowered. If you feel like the energies, because that's all there is, becomes a controlling mass that's coming at you like a semi, you're going to get hurt. If you are walking around, and I hate this word, cancel, naive, with a big heart, you're getting to notice nobody has the heart you have. But again, we're creating parameters to find out and how to love and how to appreciate love and how to appreciate what we have. But if we meet that hurt and we lose our power and we take up residency to that was real, that's my truth, and there's no hope. It's written in stone. You're going to put walls up. You're going to lose more power. You're going to start going into spiritual debt. You only get $100 a day. Actually, every time you wake up, You get $100 to reinvest. Half of that or more than that, you've already going, oh, this is my list of the day. I'm supposed to not like this person, da, 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 dee, 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 dee. Yes, you become a victim. Because cause and effect, cause and effect. Effect is the victim, cause is the bitch. And the thing is that you are meant to hold your power and not lose it. You are meant to not throw the baby out with the bathwater. When you have a bad experience and you're on the effect side of it, the wisdom and releasing the pain, and you gather the wisdom. See, a lot of you are judging yourself harshly now. What's it causing out of your eyeballs? What's it causing out of your body? What's it causing? Notice self-judgment. Yeah, you don't want a bitch slap to wake you up. But if you have it, when in doubt, heal it out. But if you can take another piece of the gem, when you're, oh my God, every snapshot of your life is very important. When I'm helping people heal, it'll be that little time, that little snapshot, that little moment that you'll create hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things. But if you can go back to that and heal that, then all of a sudden you get to break that down. You get your power back. Then we have to look at the habitual aspect. Do I need to always go, is it true? No, because when you start to heal it out and you put the blood back into your brain and you break down those chemical peptides that were linked to that moment and you start to resolve, your brain goes into a higher aspect. Your higher self, if you communicate with your higher self, if that was why I'm supposed to learn, Spirit, if this is it, so be it. Use your magic wand. You'd be amazed at all of a sudden, Spirit, turnaround time. You used to be hurt by that. Oh my God, yes, I did. I've grown. You're creating a relationship. Your best friend is your higher self. I used to be scared of so many things because I lived out here. What do I mean by living out here? When I'm trying to protect myself, I got to protect my heart. I will suck in my energy, but my consciousness will live out here. And what will happen is that I'm trying to make friendships. I don't know how to bond. This is where you have social anxiety. This is where you're not communicating here. You're getting instructions from ego. You're getting instructions from the below 500 frequency. You're letting everything else write your story. Let's take 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to go pee. You do your thing. And then when I come back, we'll regroup. Notice any emotions that popped up. Notice any questions. Because this is going to help you create a parameter that'll help you grow. So I'll be back, okay? I love you all. You're doing good. Be nice to yourselves.